In just a few hours, the jury in the federal trial against Kosta Diamantis will continue to deliberate. Prosecutors say he was a corrupt political official, while his attorney told jurors, quote, "You may not like him, but you must follow the law." Your reporter Taylor Knight following the very latest for us here live in the studio this morning. Taylor, good morning. So what can we expect in court today?
Well, Kate, we are getting closer to a verdict here. Diamantis was in charge of school construction projects from 2015 to 2021 and now faces decades in prison if found guilty on more than 20 counts of bribery and extortion. Prosecutors started their closing arguments first yesterday, showing jurors how contractors paid Diamantis and said when they didn't pay him, Diamantis threatened them. Diamantis' attorney says the government failed to prove its case. Jurors have heard lots of testimony and seen lots of documents in the last 2.5 weeks of this trial, and now they will deliberate and decide what and who to believe. Your chief political reporter, Susan Raff, will be in the courtroom when a verdict comes down. We'll have the latest on air and online at WFSB.com. Your reporter live in studio, Taylor Knight, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Taylor, thank you.